Welcome back. Rise Up Nation. We're so glad. Lisa Thompson, holy cow. Lisa hits the welcome. Happy from Atlanta. Lisa was our guest last week. She's on the ball. She's already here. Lisa, listen, last week, some of the nuggets you shared were remarkable, and I was so happy. I just did my 2 videos on Monday morning that I sent out to everybody that I know. We're both on a business autopsy, if that tells you anything. Thank you for that. But welcome back, Rise Up Nation. We're here today for some conversations, and I'm excited. But let me give Kellie, I'm going to introduce you in a second, but let me give you the rundown. We do this for 45 minutes to an hour, just a conversation open. We're live on several streams. There's lots of people already watching us. Then I'll take what we say today, and we'll edit it, and it will be the podcast for next Monday. That at midnight next Monday it comes on, and it'll be in all the podcast channels. We'll give it a title depending on what profound things you say, Kellie, today. But anyway, that's how this flow goes. And I wanted to start today. I thought it was appropriate this morning. You know, you guys, we're in coastal South Carolina. We are an organization called REMAX. We actually have a couple of affiliations, REMAX Essential, REMAX Southern Shores, and REMAX Professionals. And we are on a lot of different conference room TVs right now, being watched by a lot of people. But I wanted to start by saying this. Someone very, very near and dear to our heart, Harmony Bellamy, is battling a little thing in her life that she wasn't expecting. And it's breaking all of our hearts. And I'm going to dedicate this episode, whatever that's worth, to her and her memory and her thoughts today and her family, what they're going through. And we're confident that she's going to be on the other side of it. It's going to be a celebration too. But we all get thrown curveballs, and they've been thrown one. And I just wanted to mention that today. It was on my heart. So we love you, Harmony. If you happen to be listening where you're sitting, I think there's better things to do than this. But if you're there, we love you.
We love you, Harm. She was texting me last night, and I'm like, what is this girl doing working right now? She's just an incredible human. So we are definitely thinking about you. We're praying for you. And I personally have decided to stay positive, proactive, and purposeful with anything I can do to help. And I think that's the best way to go here.
Yeah, it's cool. It's interesting when we look at the history of the culture, the fabric, and this is a lot of what we'll talk about today, Kellie, the way that you treat your clients, the way that I treat people, and the way that our company treats people was born a lot through my wife's vision and Harmony's actions, the way she acts every day. I mean, I don't know anybody that loves people more than her. So this is our love back to you, Harmony. That's all. Lisa, thank you for that. That's sweet of you to say that for Harmony. Yeah. So anyway, Vince, on a lighter note, you got a little bit of activity going this week. Tell me, you got an exciting week planned for you. Tell us what you're going to be doing at the end of this week.
Kellie, I promise we're gonna chat and do the podcast thing. Pat and I have probably gone a week without like an extensive conversation, so we're overdue. Kellie, you'll enjoy this too. So today, we are in coastal South Carolina, Myrtle Beach specifically, and Florence and Conway and Wilmington, the whole coast there. But today's Masters Monday. If you're not aware, it's only the greatest world supreme sporting event in the history of humankind. And I will be blessed for the first time ever to be in Augusta National for the Masters this weekend. So a little excited over here. Got my golf shirt on today. You can see. And we're also having mini Masters throughout our offices throughout the next week, which is 9-hole putt within the offices. Big shiny trophy to the winner. And I'm launching my Masters pool this week. For anyone out there watching that wants to get involved, I will actually share the link to sign up. It's a 50-50 donation. $20 gets you some picks in the golf tournament. Half of that goes straight to the hospital. The other half for Children's Miracle Network, the other half goes into a prize pool that you might win. So Vince is going to have to focus a little extra hard this week. Not have a second or third browser up seeing the golf shots here.
It's going to be fun this week. Like Vince is primarily responsible for protecting our real estate culture. Some people call him a recruiter. I kind of call him the bouncer kind of for the company.
Gatekeeper.
But this week, I imagine there's not a whole lot of focus on that, and that's totally fine, Vince. You do your thing, man. This is a once in a lifetime opportunity, so we're excited. We got some people chiming in from Wilmington. Hey, Alicia, glad to have you. Look at Tracy, our faithful listener. She and Lisa have had some conversations since last week, so And Tracy, God bless her soul for coming to my daughter's dance competition. She drove all that way just to see my daughter's dance, and they were 15 minutes ahead of schedule in the dance schedule, and she missed the first dance. But she drove all the way across town, found a parking spot 30 minutes away, walked the whole way, and then missed it. But bless you. And Tracy, look what she said about this dear person, Kelly. One of my favorite people.
Thank you, Tracy.
Anyway, Kelly, you are, the thing I love about you, and this is Kellie Coggins. She is a rock star realtor and human being, actually. And I can't wait for you to listen to her. But Kelly, this company now, where we work, has gotten a little bit big. Oh, Vince, by the way, if anybody in Florence wants to come say hey, like wants to stick their head in, hey, bring them in. I'm good with that. If I
pop off screen, that's because I'll go recruit somebody to say
hey. I mean, if you want to, that's fine, because we'd love to say hello to whoever's there enjoying the Masters. But Kelly, so we've been doing this like 25 years now, and have figured out kind of how to do it a little bit, and we've grown, and we're making an impact on the lives of children, the lives of customers and clients, and the lives of agents and staff, and all of that. But I'm honest when I tell you this, Kelly. When you joined our organization, I was super happy. I thought you were. I knew who you were before. I had heard things about you, and I was just really excited that you were going to, I say this sometimes, but I really mean it for you, that you made us better when you came on board. And that has nothing to do with your real estate prowess. That has everything to do with who you are as a person. So thank you for being a part of this group. It's really, really cool to have you here. I'm trying to keep up with the comments. Kelly, you must be super popular because there's people flying in. Look, we got Somerville here. They got 2 computers in Somerville. So you guys got a lot of questions for Kelly coming up. I'm excited. But Kelly, tell us just a little bit about you. Where were you born? Where do you work now? Like, give me a little history about who Kellie Coggins is before we go too far.
Well, I was actually born in a little town called Gaffney, South Carolina. If you've been through I-85, you'll see the big peach in the sky. That's where I'm from.
Which is for South Carolinians, we call it the big butt in the sky. It looks like a
big butt in the sky. Exactly. Yeah.
Going up there when you drive through Gaffney, you're like, oh look, it's a butt.
And the Yellow Mall, when the Yellow Mall well, I can't even remember what the real name of the mall is. Everybody just knows it as the Yellow Mall.
Yellow Mall, yeah.
So that's my little hometown. 19 years old, I was like, I'm out of here. So I moved to Spartanburg, which is 30 minutes away. Met my husband. We just celebrated our 30-year wedding anniversary last Monday. But I lived there for 25 or so years, worked in the printing company, worked my way up to customer service. And then my husband was like, we need to move to the beach. And I was like, because we've been coming down here all of our lives, parents all of our lives, grandparents all their lives, So we're like, I'm down for it because we're both coastal people. So he got a job at Horry Georgetown Tech. Sarah, my daughter, and I finished her senior year up there. My son and Tim moved down here, and here we are. Got permanently laid off, and he told me, he said, during COVID, and he told me, he said, I think you need to go into real estate. And I said, really? I said, I'm not going to get paid for a while, right? He said, that's okay. He said, I think you can do it, and I think you'll be good at it. And so I started. A couple of years later, I felt like, I started with a different company. Felt like I wanted to grow more and be less transactional, more relational, because that's just who I am, and found y'all, and it's been great. It's been great for my career.
So you were, I remember us talking about this before, Kelly. We were like, your husband had this brilliant idea. Is that the only brilliant idea he's ever had? I mean, other than marrying you.
Probably. Other than marrying me, yes.
He said so. He picked you, and then he pushed you into real estate. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
He was right.
Because, yeah, and I look at it every day and it's like, gosh, I wish I would have done this a long time ago. Because where would I be now if I would have started a long time ago? So,
yeah, Lisa said she got laid off and went into real estate too. Isn't that interesting? And I know that, like, James Brophy, James in the office, during COVID, He was working at a like a retailer, and their plans changed, and they gave him the freedom to go into real estate. So sometimes those down moments when we think we're down and out can turn into like the rainbow, just the other side of the pot of gold. So that's pretty cool.
Absolutely.
How long did you get your license, Kelly?
I got them in November 2020.
Is
That's
this
when I
renewal
became
year for you?
licensed.
Do you know, or I need to ask Ashley, is this renewal year for you?
No, mine's 26.
Okay.
She's an even.
Yeah.
That's good. Ashley was joking. And by the way, if you haven't looked at your license lately, don't call Ashley if you need to renew or not. Like what happened? All you got to do is look at your license, and it tells you. If you don't have your license, go to the office where you're hanging your license and look on the wall and find the little tiny number that says expires. If it's 25, get busy because you got a little bit of work to do. Like me and like my wife right now, she's probably not on here because she's doing hers this morning. So.
I got to do my North Carolina one.
Oh yeah, she's dual licensed though. Kelly is. So you're an annual CEer at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I got to get on that too.
Loves to learn, right? Okay, get it. So interesting story. So you've been doing it for a little while. This is cool because Vince, back when this season was coming. Of Rise Up in Real Estate. You guys know we do it in seasons. Like we do this. Kelly had you on here a few seasons ago. We do it during the school year because I got a lot of kids, and during the summer it just doesn't work for me. And holiday breaks, that we take those off. But when I put the note out about this season, Vince, I asked people to raise their hand and say, what are you really good at? That's what I want to do this season, is talk to experts in certain areas. And I didn't realize that was kind of a hard thing to ask a realtor. That not everybody wants to brag about themselves or talk about themselves. And so through a lot of conversations, I got a group of people who've had a great season. Kelly was one of the ones that said, hey, I think there's something unique about me. I'd like to talk about it. And Kelly, why don't you tell us what you thought when I sent that email? And then that will lead us into the conversation about what your superpower is in this business, in our opinion.
Well, I remember it going a little bit different than that. I said, I'll be on your podcast, but I have no idea what's different or what's unique about me because I don't look at myself that way. So
but what did you do? Tell me what you did after that.
I went to ChatGPT because I use it so much, just in conversation, because I'm such a conversationalist and I don't write very well. So I just write it how I would say it. I'm like, oh, this just sounds like a 3-year-old, So I would always go in and just type it out and say, okay, write this professional or whatever. So I went into ChatGPT and said, I can't even remember now what I asked it, but I said, based on your interactions with me, what do you think my superpower is? And it spit out my superpowers. And I was like, oh, wow, this is like weird because it was what I had been told in the past and what I felt like I was. But I just don't, bring that to light to myself. And I think it's good to do that every now and again because it opens your eyes on, okay, because if you don't know how people see you, how are you supposed to get better at that? So that's what I did.
Have you done that before, Vince?
Yeah, I tried that, but funny we referenced Harmony. Me and Harmony share an account, just I haven't switched over to my company account yet. So it thinks I'm this like loving, caring, like sweet, genuine thing, and it also thinks I'm a nurse practitioner because my wife uses the account. So it's probably time for Harmony and I to split up our accounts, and my wife and I too. So. I'm no help there, but I think it's absolutely brilliant to ask something that has interacted with you and knows your writing style and your kind of is in your head. Honestly, it's what it is. And what it said about you. I'm excited in a few minutes to hear what it said. I hope you share.
Yeah. Interesting. Kelly, it's interesting to me that you would, number one, let's be honest, that you're using ChatGPT. I'm proud of you for that. Cause I think it is at least my observation is it's like an elephant in the room that everybody's ignoring is in the room. You've heard the 800-pound gorilla, like he's sitting at your desk right over there. You need to pay attention. That's what AI is. And I'm proud of you for Tell me a little bit how you got started on that. Maybe there's people out there that aren't using Chat GPT. Was it scary for you, or were you pretty much, let's go get that?
It was, and I used the free version for a long time, but I would run into different reels or different YouTube videos on how to really use ChatGPT, and it took me probably until this year to really understand it and really kind of get into it. And now I've made several different GPTs because you can make different personalities or different personas
Yeah.
with the paid version. So I have like a marketing Mark. So if I need help with, so I built marketing Mark, and you can, it's just amazing what it can do, and ask it questions and say, okay, to be this great marketing person with knowledge in the real estate market in South Carolina, know the fair housing laws, know this, know that. I need a good marketing plan. Tell me what would be a great description for a marketing person, and it would, give you these things, and or ask me questions to make this person be who I need. And it would ask you questions, and you would answer those questions like, what's your writing style? How do you want this? What's your tone? Things like that. And so now I don't have to go and prompt that anymore. I can just go and say, I need a social media post about yada, 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 yada. And it goes, there it is.
Yeah, and it writes it all in
And
that avatar, right?
mhm,
And then if you're sitting there watching this going, okay, like she knows how to do this. If you go back a few episodes in this season, Ty Morton and I had a conversation where he actually has a separate AI tool that builds the prompts for you as well. So you kind of tell it what you're going for. It will build the prompt using AI, and then you'll paste that into GPT and get where you're going a lot faster. Now, I just want to make a point here that Kellie Coggins, who just told you she was born and raised in Gaffney, South Carolina, moved to Spartanburg, which is the only thing in Spartanburg is a place called the Beacon where you get way too much fried food, and now lives in Conway, South Carolina, which these are all a little country, okay, y'all? I'm just going to put it out there. You can kind of hear it. If she's out here dominating AI and leveraging it for her business, so can you, okay? Just saying. And I do
are you calling me a hick?
Not calling you a hick. I'm just saying if you can do it, anybody can do it. You are eliminating.
That's exactly right.
You're eliminating excuses
I know.
because I've watched you muck through this, with grace. And have you used it? You guys don't know. I don't know if it told you this was one of your superpowers, but Kellie Coggins is a phenom in Microsoft Excel. If you don't know that about her. So are you using it for your formulas, or are you still hand coding your formulas? Or your functions?
Oh no, I've already the sheet that Ashley did for us on keeping up with your goals and your your transactions. I've got formulas all in it. The net sheet, I've got formulas all in it. So all I have to do is go look up the taxes, put the tax in, and it'll automatically calculate the proration of the tax, so I can put that in the net sheet.
Did GPT write that function for you?
No, I did.
You did that one yourself. That's impressive.
I mean, Kelly, you see Tracy says small town girl power. You're getting a lot of love. I'm inspired to make a better effort with Chat GPT already 10 minutes in. Tyree says, folks at the beach. Listen, that should be a hashtag. That might need to go on your Tyree. Thanks for being here, man. That needs to go on your business card. I love that hashtag country folks. And listen, Vince might not know this. Listen, I'm from a small town in Alabama called Dothan, Alabama. I tell people I was born in a cotton field. There's nothing wrong with being a hick. Listen, that's a compliment in a lot of places. So let's take that proudly. But
I'm in the best positive way.
Yeah, absolutely.
I know, Vince. I was aggravating you.
what an unexpected consequence of this podcast that we would be talking about Chat GPT. I'm fascinated. You called him Mark, not Marky Mark. Marketing Mark.
Who else do you have in there?
Who else you got in there?
Oh gosh, let's see. Hold on.
Let's put her on the spot. Look at
Oh,
her looking around like she's got 12 monitors. Now she's got a
She's
lot
like
going on in
really
here.
running stocks. She's watching the
I
Masters.
have,
He's
but
doing.
my favorite one is Boozy Betty.
Boozy Betty, happy hour.
Boozy Betty.
friends?
So she is like, I have a conglomerate of like, because I like to, I'm a bartender at heart. I've never been a bartender, but I just like to, play around. So I'll say, I got this and I got this, but I don't have this, so I can't make that. So let me see what I can make. So I was just playing one night. This is the first time that I learned about the GPTs. So I was like, I'll just make a Boozy Betty. So I can put in and I can say, I have these ingredients. Tell me recipes that I can make. So you can do that with anything. I just chose that one just to be, funny. But and she'll shoot me out all kinds of recipes that I can make with whatever ingredients that I have.
So, I mean, I
I
don't
have
even know.
listing.
It's going to be impossible not to talk about this in the future. Like, it's just going to happen, Tad, because it's a part of our world. I can take my AI sunglasses that I have and look in my fridge or at my bar and ask it to look and tell me what I could make with the ingredients it sees. So I don't even have to tell it anymore what I have.
That's wild.
Yeah, pretty incredible stuff.
So
what about
you were going to say something about a listing, Kelly? What were you going to say, Kelly?
I got listing Lucy, gifting Grace, past client Patty.
Past client Patty.
And how do you? So I don't even know these answers. What do you do with each of these? Do you say, "Hey, write me something in this regard," or do you go to that when you're asking the question? You find that avatar and ask the question specifically to that avatar.
Yes.
And that avatar has been programmed.
She built it.
She built it. So you don't have to go in. You used to have to go in and say, I'm Vince. I'm a real estate agent. I work at Remax Southern Shores. I like to talk in a comedic tone, blah, 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 blah. But now Listing Lucy knows Kelly.
Exactly.
She's built Listing Lucy. So she saves all, just for the listener, she saves all that time on the front end.
Right. And she already knows the fair housing laws, and she already knows. Now, does it come out with a fair housing violation every now and again? Absolutely. So you have to go read it. You can't just copy and paste it.
Yeah. We're talking $20 a month here. We're not talking $200. We're talking $20.
Yeah.
For the
$20.
That's incredible. I'm just so I'm kind of speechless that you're doing this, Kelly. I'm so proud of you. I am challenged. It looks like everybody on the call is challenged. Lisa's in love with Boozy Betty. You can use that too.
Boozy
Maybe
Betty.
you could borrow that one, Lisa, if you want. Erica Phillips down there in Somerville. Look, I didn't even know this was a function. I'm so excited to implement. Here we go. Lessons learned, right?
It's very overwhelming, and so it took me a little while to kind of figure it out. But I'm not an expert, but I'll be happy to show people what I know.
Yeah. Well, so if y'all want to reach out to her after this, I won't go the whole show talking about GPT, although I could. I'm pretty impressed with that, and I think this kind of resonates. It makes sense, though, that you've done this, because one thing I know about you, Kelly, and this isn't what you want to talk about either, probably, but I don't know how many times since you've worked with us, and now you're like a fixture that can never go away. If you ever go away, we will come and find you and bring you back. But I don't know how many times I've seen you sitting in the conference room, and Vince will know this. If Ashley were on here, she would echo this. Sitting with someone, helping them learn what you know, helping them just kind of go through it, not as an expert, but just you're in the trenches with all your peers. Is that something that you love to do? I mean, is that you're just drawn to helping people? Tell me about that.
Yeah. I've always been that way. I've been a people pleaser my whole life. In my previous profession, my boss would pull me into his office and say, "You're doing great, but you've got to learn to say no. You can't do everything." So I was like, okay. So then I wouldn't speak up and take on something. And so he would call me back in there. He said, "You did good. You didn't say yes, you would do it. You didn't speak up. You didn't take anything else." So I've had to really learn how to say no, or not speak up and say, "I'll help you do that," or whatever, because it takes too much time, and it takes too much time away from what, I was supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
However, I'm that type of person. So if if I can help somebody grow, I'm going to do it in a heartbeat. Um, I never thought I'd start a team until my daughter-in-law, and I get so much joy helping other people grow until, I talked to somebody the other day that's going to get his license, very young kid. My youngest guy got into a house. We just closed recently. Now he wants to get his license. And so I told him, I said, you need to come talk to me because you're the type of person that I would want on my team. So, it just, I just love to help people and watch them grow and watch them do good. And I don't know, it's
So
just me.
yeah, let me dig into this a little bit. Because when you say I'm a people pleaser, when I've heard people say that in the past, and I've said that about myself, it's almost people think it's a negative, but I'm not sure why that's a negative. Like what, other than it could take your focus off of yourself, like not focusing on what you're supposed to be doing in a job, like a job where you have a list of things you're
Right.
supposed to do. But when you're like what you just said is, if I can help somebody succeed, I'm going to do it. That's a little different than people pleasing, right?
I guess, yeah. Well, I mean, I like to please. I like to, when I'm working with somebody, I want them to be pleased with me. I want them to be pleased with what I do. I'm not going to go show them something and try to sell them something that I don't think that is a good fit for them. I'm not going to go to a listing appointment and say, hey, yeah, let's sell your house without knowing if you can actually get into another house or not, just because of I know your circumstances or whatever. I'm not going to sell. I couldn't live with myself if I did that.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to make sure that everything is the way it's supposed to be before. And I think people appreciate that. I think people appreciate that honesty. I think people appreciate the being real with them
Mm-hmm.
and not just trying to sell something. I'm not going to sell you something if I don't think you can afford it, or I shouldn't say that. I'm not going to push you into a higher bracket if you're uncomfortable with that payment. I'm not going to try to do that. I'm going to try to keep it lower, keep it lower, keep it lower. Somebody asked me, why do you want to sell to new home buyers? Why don't you just sell higher priced properties and you won't have to sell as much? I said, because that's not as rewarding. It's so much more rewarding to sell to somebody who doesn't think they can do it. And then you prove to them, yeah, you can do this. And so giving them that confidence and giving them that boost that they needed in their life is, gosh, means more to me than selling, $4 million properties a year instead of 30 properties a year.
Right. So you're a people pleaser, but you want them to have what they need. You're looking out for their best interest is one way to say it.
Yeah.
And it's not,
Yeah.
and what I love is it's not at all related to your well-being. Your well-being is, it is good because you are rewarded by it, emotionally, not necessarily financially, by doing the right thing. And that's a unique quality,
Right.
I think. So when somebody says you're a people pleaser, like I've always thought that term meant you'll do anything just to make people happy. Like there are no rules. You just, because I'm the guy in the room that can make everybody feel good, no matter who they are, what they're saying, what they're doing. And my wife sometimes will say, well, that I don't have as strong a backbone as I need, because sometimes people need to hear no. That's people pleasing. What you're saying is I'm doing what's best for other people, not just making them happy, but what's really good for them. Does that make sense? Am I making sense, Vince?
Yeah, I parallel it to from people pleasing. I mean, yeah, there's a point without boundaries that it can be self-harm inducing, right? But I parallel people pleasing, knowing Kelly, to the golden rule. just treating others how you want to be treated. I think that's all you're doing is how would I want to be treated? Oh, I'm not comfortable with this payment. I don't want a realtor to push me. I'm not going to push my people. What's so bad about going home knowing that you pleased some people today, right? As long as it's not at the expense of your own well-being, I think you're executing the golden rule in your business.
Yeah. I went to a listing appointment a couple of Fridays ago. I didn't. Oh, there's Harmony.
Hey, Harm.
Hey, Harmony.
Friend.
We're happy that you're here.
I went to a listing appointment a few weeks ago. It was an elderly couple. I didn't even bring the listing paperwork. I just went in, told them, what I thought, told them, what I thought their house was worth. And I knew they were interviewing another real estate agent that following Tuesday. But I didn't pressure them to sign anything. I didn't do anything. So talked to my friend who actually referred me to them. And their biggest thing was, I can't believe she didn't, pressure us to sign anything. And I said, that's not who I am. I'm not going to make you pressure you to work with me. You got to want to work with me because I'm just not that person. I don't know. I feel like I'm going all over the place. I'm sorry.
No, that what you're doing is explaining who you are. And that's a perfect compliment to what Vince just said. Harmony, if you're on here and you can comment, I want you to tell me what you love most about Kellie, because you probably know her better than anybody. I would imagine, just because of how perceptive you are. But it's really an honor to have you on here. Oh, Tyree says, hey. No, you're not going all over the place, Kellie. I go all over the place, and that's the nature of the show, because I'm trying to go down this path and find the gold nuggets for people. I think that's my strength. People have a lot of strengths, but one of mine is getting, like, the Chat GPT thing just totally came out of nowhere. And that might be the most valuable thing that we have on the podcast. Wasn't even thinking about it. That's all over the place. You're answering the questions perfectly. Mm-hmm. Vince, have you ever heard of, I thought I had discovered this actually a few years ago. I was so proud of myself. I was going to write a white paper on it and just try to publish it. Have you heard of the platinum rule?
No.
Okay, so the golden rule is from the Bible, like, do unto others as you would have them do unto you, right? What you just said. What I thought of was, and I thought I had discovered it, but it turns out I didn't. Really, what Kellie does is do unto others as they would want to have done unto them. You see the difference?
Hang on,
like,
yeah.
To understand, I got to understand enough about Vince that I give him the things that ring his bell, not what rings my bell. Let's say that our love languages are totally different. I like trophies, and he could care less about recognition. If I give Vince a trophy, I did for him what I want, right? But if I post something on social media about how great he is, now I've done what he wants. You see the difference, Vince? Like,
yeah.
And so I thought, I've discovered something really cool here, and it's the platinum rule. It's been there for years and years.
Lisa's nailed it when she just called you a gold miner. That's so what you're doing to add the platinum rule, you are requiring yourself to know more about me. You refer to it as, love languages sometimes, to know my disc profile, to know how I'm receptive to things. So the golden rule is treat others as you would want to be treated, but the platinum rule is treat others as how they would want to be treated. So simple, but really, really profound.
And it's exactly what Kellie just said when she said, if I'm not going to push them to go above what they're going to be comfortable affording. Now, because Kellie and her husband, if they're doing what would be good for them, they might have bought it. She might push them to buy it because she's not even aware of their limitations. But when she's aware of it, when you take the time to get to know that other person, and this is probably why the only reason I'm married is because I figured this out with me. Like, I outkicked my coverage by 3 miles. I don't deserve to be married to that woman, but I'm perceptive, and I listened to her when we first met, and no one else had listened to her that way. That's the way Kellie listens. And that's your strength with people. Did you see what Harmony, did I put up there what Harmony said? Harmony says, one of your favorite, genuine and have a huge heart. And where I want to go with this, Kellie, next, and Vince, you keep interrupting. I love your commentary. I want to ask you this, though, Kellie. I love that too, right there, Lisa. And you do that. There's no question that Lisa does that. And I know Kellie does the same thing too. Why? Like, why, Lisa, you could chime in too. Why, if they ask you to go 1 mile, especially in a world that is about under delivering and taking the shortcut and doing what you have to get by. I'm trying to teach my kids this right now. Like, they just want to do what's on the teacher gives them the odd problems to do at home at night. I'm like, just do them all. Like, why not? It's more practice. But why would you go the extra mile, Lisa, or even Kelly? Tell me why you would go. What's in it for you, or why do you do it?
Gosh, one, that's who I am. I'm going to try to make sure you are taken care of. I want to know. I'm a why person anyway. I got to know the logistics behind why you want to go there, whatever it is. I want to know how and why do you want to do this? Is it so that you can have a bigger house because you're having a baby? Is it just because you want out of that neighborhood? It doesn't even have to be about a house. Just why do you want to do this? Or what do I want to do in this to get this result over here? Okay, well then how am I going to do it? So I got to know the logistics behind it. If I know the logistics behind it, then I can get you to that goal. But I need to know when, why, how. I need to know all of that stuff. And if I can't make logic out of it, then it's harder for me to help you. So I try to, as soon as I get somebody on the phone, I'll let them talk. I ask them a few questions and let them talk. Let them tell me. And a lot of times you get a whole lot more information out of them by doing that than by sitting there and asking them these, questions that you're told to ask. And then you're like, oh, okay. Well, then, I can't get a loan. I don't think I'll ever be able to get it. Well, why don't you think that? And let them tell you. And they're like, well, you'll be surprised, but hey, you don't have to have 20% down. Really? And then you get into that whole other conversation. And so when you just stop and listen, that 1 mile goes to 2 automatically.
So I think Kelly's kind of a conversion queen, right? And this is because you're going into it with the attitude of finding logic, letting them speak and hearing their why, right? So you've probably taken a lot of folks who weren't ready to buy or thought they weren't and showed them, you've saved them years and years of renting perhaps and showed them that they can do this, right? So I feel like your conversion rate, tell me if I'm wrong, is probably pretty high.
Usually if I can get in front of them and talk to them and they'll listen, then I can get them converted pretty quickly.
And remember, we're in a world where it's all about not leaving without a signature, right? And this is my listing presentation, and it's an hour and a half long. And I just did some content on this. What happened to listing conversations, and why do we go straight to listing presentations? Right? It's
Right.
conversating versus presenting, right? So this is how you accidentally can get listings too, by the way, if you're listening. Just by having good conversations with people and kind of showing who you are, you can end up with them as a client or customer just by listening and talking, right, Kelly?
Yeah, and you got to read the person. Like I saw your listing presentation thing, and I was trying to do that and do the listing presentation and do, be all this, and I'm like,
You watch my
people
videos?
don't care. I did.
Kelly watches some videos.
People don't care,
Yeah.
They care on some of the stuff, but you gotta highlight some stuff, and then you gotta let them talk.
Mm-hmm.
You just gotta be quiet, let them talk, and then say, okay, well, here's what we can do for you, and then just highlight some things. Yeah, go ahead and give them the printout or whatever of your listing presentation, but just highlight some of the things that you can do, and don't make it so boring. Just got to make it about them. If you don't make it about them, they don't feel included and they don't feel heard.
And that's not a sales strategy. I mean, sure, you could call it that. This is just how to do business properly.
Just how to be be a person, how to be a good person.
So we forget that.
And solve problems.
Yeah, transactional versus relational. Like you said from the first minute.
Mm-hmm.
There's a big difference there.
Yeah. Good. I got some comments I'm gonna throw up on the screen, but I want to ask you a question that might bring this full circle. And I didn't prepare you for this at all. So if it might be
I
right.
haven't been prepared for any of it.
Yeah, I didn't prepare you for it. Matter of fact, I gave her the link 15 minutes ago, actually. So this is real. This is real, guys. How's your business right now, Kelly?
It's going good.
Yeah.
I've got a good pipeline lined up, so I am on track to be the same, if not a little bit better than I was last year. So,
okay. Now, those of you that are listening, wherever you are, those of us that are in North and South Carolina, in our company especially, but even beyond that, there's a lot of complaining going on, a lot. And I've just been very passionate about what I'm going to say right now. You just heard Vince and Kelly's conversation. You need to rewind this, find it next week on the podcast and rewind it, or find it on YouTube and watch it over again. There was a master class on sales, and it is relational, not transactional. But what Kelly just talked about is, my opinion, the way that you market proof yourself. Listen to people. Ask them questions and listen to people. Find out what is motivating their crazy idea. They got together with you for some reason to buy or sell. They had the idea of it. Now find out why, and then stay there. Like, just help them incubate that. And you heard her say like 5 or 6 times in a row, she said, and then just let them talk. And then just let them talk. And then just let them talk. So often in our business, I think we're so focused on you said conversion, but we're so focused on like getting the sale that for our sake, and sitting around and going, oh, but I promise you that, I mean, in the history of the world, I think, especially 25 years I've been in it, I've been through some weird stuff. There's always people that need our service, always enough. Kelly just said her business is pretty good. Some people haven't made a sale all year. I mean, some people are not doing good at all. 74% of people that are realtors last year didn't make a single sale. And Kelly had one of her best years. I could say, Cindy Cobb had her best year ever. And it's because they're masters at connecting with people, right? Connecting with people, listening to what they have, what they need, and then figuring out a way to give it to them. And let me throw these comments up because I'm getting behind, but I wanted to show this. Lisa answered my question 45 minutes ago, and I didn't put it up there. It's never about the character integrity of the other person. Maybe they don't deserve it, but it's who she is. So she's going to go the extra mile. That's just who she is. Our director of operations up in Wilmington says, I haven't had the pleasure of meeting Kelly, but we need more Kellys. You said a mouthful, Alicia. Wait till you meet her. Y'all are kindred spirits in a lot of ways.
Yeah, definitely.
Tracy, who definitely does this, bless Tracy's heart. She sent a few handwritten cards to my daughters in the mail, my kids in the mail. And my kids are like on cloud 9. Why would Tracy do that? Like,
Tracy had some of the mini Masters supplies out in front of her house this morning at 6:45 for me to pick them up. So I'm saying she's going the extra mile.
Lisa knows Kelly already. You have a tender heart. I love that. And Lisa says it's like the difference between listening to speak and listening to ensure the person talking is actually heard.
So that's on that note, Lisa and Kelly. Kelly, you said you said you've watched the presentation versus consulting and conversating, and you used to try to go in guns blazing with the presentation, right? One thing I want those listening to do is say, yeah, it's easy for us to say this and Monday morning quarterback it and go, yeah, I do that. I listen. But then I want you to look at yourself in the mirror and go, but do I really listen? Like, do I actually consult or do I present? Because when you hear it from us, you're like, oh, yeah, I do that. But I want you to take a second and really evaluate how your conversations are going. I do this thing, and I have to be really mindful where you guys see it on the podcast, I want to say what I want to say without even letting the person finish sometimes. And sometimes the conversation needs to go where that person was taking it, right? So what a shame to do that in a listing conversation and screw something up, right? But by going back to just letting them listen or letting them talk, you kind of avoid that.
I'll be on the phone sometimes and I've never talked to this person and they're talking to me and then I don't say anything. And then I have to remind myself to tell them, oh, I'm sorry, I'm taking notes. Hold on just a second. And just so they know that I'm paying attention, I'm writing down what they're saying. And I'm not, I want them to know that I'm not just off in La La Land letting them talk. And then I want them to know that I am actually participating in the conversation. Just give me a minute to finish writing down that thought.
Yeah, that's smart because we live in a world where people don't listen to others. So you
Yeah.
have to tell someone, hey, I'm actually listening to you. Just keep going, and I'm recording it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's another gold nugget, what she just said. It's very simple, and she doesn't do it for this reason, but that is a strategy, what she just said, to say to somebody that you're talking to on the phone, give me a minute, I want to write that down. Give me a minute, I'm just writing those notes down. I don't want to forget that. People will go, what? You care that much? Pretty smart.
Yeah. But okay, so I just, and y'all may already know about this little AI tool, but Claude AI, I just ordered this little handy dandy credit card looking device, and it comes with a little magnet wallet thing that you put on the back of your phone, and you can stick it down in there. And when you're on the phone, you can press that button and it'll record that conversation. And then you can send it to ChatGPT and it'll translate it.
Shut up. How do you spell it? Put it in the notes, Jen.
AUD. Let's see. Got a lot of chat everyone.
That's a scary tool. I love it.
Hold on, I think I have it pulled up.
Does it make a thing like Zoom does where it's like, this meeting is now recorded? Does it say anything when you hit it so the other person knows?
I don't know. I haven't gotten it in yet. I haven't used it yet.
So say we're on a conference call, I can hit this button and then I can have my notes transcribed later. And I could be watching golf during the call. That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah. Or you could just say, if it does say that, you could just say, this is very important to me. Do you mind if I record this call? I don't want to miss anything.
Right. And I mean, when you take a Zillow call, it tells you that it's recorded, or I tell them we're recording. Hey, I'm in my car, but we're being recorded and I can go back and listen to this. In any of the classes, what's so neat about this particular recorder is when I'm in a class and I want to capture all this and I can't write fast enough, then I can just press record and it'll record it and then it'll translate it, give me summaries and everything about the class.
It's ugly, but I just posted the link on all our pages at once, not on purpose, actually. I meant to post it on one page. If you copy paste that link, it's the Plowed Note Pen. Interested to see what Ty Morton thinks about that one, Ted.
Yeah.
Now AI is kind of your thing now, huh?
Well, I'm trying to.
Kellie,
I am a work smarter, not harder type person. And if there's a shortcut, if there's a way to make it easier, then I'm going to try to find it.
I'm not going to let the cat all the way out of the bag. It's really hard not to, but you are getting ready to be super excited in the next couple of weeks. I'm going to leave it at that. You're going to be super excited the next couple of weeks. Let me see your phone too. Look at mine. Look at there. It was supposed to be a non-branded podcast, but when I saw you got the circle thing right the same place I did, apparently.
Yeah.
So you get ready to cover that up with the Plod and record our calls. I can't wait to see that.
I don't know if you have another direction you want to go, but we still don't know what GPT told her superpower was. It might be a good way to wrap things up.
Yeah, I bet I could tell you, but GPT definitely did. She sent it to me when I asked her. She sent me what Chat GPT said, and I read it this morning. But Kellie, tell us what were you so impressed by when you saw that? Like, wow, it's like my husband really listened, but it was actually Chat GPT.
Yeah, it was. It's just so. My superpower, what it pointed out, authenticity and relatability. You have the natural way of connecting with people in a real down-to-earth manner, whether it's clients, colleagues, or friends. People trust you because you're genuine, no fluff. That makes you not just a great real estate agent, but also someone people actually want to work with. Your unique real estate or life talent, balancing strategy with heart. You understand the business side of real estate, market trends, negotiation, strategy, but you never lose sight of the human side. You're not just selling homes, you're guiding people through major life changes. That emotional intelligence paired with business savvy is a game changer. And then consistent key to your success, relationship-driven success. You know that real estate and life isn't about transactions, it's about relationships. You focus on genuinely helping people, which leads to repeat clients, referrals, and rock solid reputation. If others adopted that mindset, whether in real estate or any business, they'd see long term success, not just short term wins.
I have
So that's what it said.
Matt, you go first. Do you have anything
if
to
you were
say?
looking for a bio that would impress, you got one. You would never say that about yourself, Kelly. That's the thing.
Absolutely
I
not.
kept saying to myself is, Kelly didn't write that because she wouldn't say those nice things about herself. Her family would, and her daughter, her husband would sometimes. We would. But the fact that, it blows my mind that ChatGPT is not a human being, mind you. It's a robot, basically, a technology tool that paid attention perfectly. Don't forget this, paid attention perfectly to your interactions with it and with others, and created that. You got to be careful because it's going to tell you you're not a good person. Also, if you're not,
Oh, yeah.
like if you're in it for the money, or you're trying to take shortcuts, or you don't always tell the truth. So good for you that you got that kind of props from a perfect analysis. Actually, it's kind of cool. I'm gonna throw some comments up, Vince, but go ahead and say what you were gonna say.
Tad could feel me like busting over here, but so you have to understand how the AI works a bit, right? So you know how we often say integrity is doing the right thing when no one's watching, right? Well, no one's watching you regularly enter into GPT what you're telling it. GPT is going to regurgitate only based on the data inputted. So you didn't go on there an hour before and say, tell me my superpowers. I'm going on a podcast. Make me a servant leader style, people pleasing, whatever, and make me sound awesome. No, you just said, tell me my superpowers based on your interaction with me. That's all you said.
Yeah.
So that's right. If you don't have that input regularly, it's not going to spit that back at you. It's going to say you're kind of direct or agitated easily or whatever based on what it knows. So I just don't want that to be overlooked. It's not just a horoscope. It's actually using what you've inputted.
Right.
What would Boozy Betty say about you?
That might not need to go on the podcast. I'm kidding. I really don't drink that much. I just like to play with stuff, like yeah, that's a whole nother podcast.
So I don't know this, and I don't know if I should ask this or not. If it's not the right answer, we'll edit it out of there. But do you have any grandchildren?
I have one on the way.
And I knew
My
that.
My daughter-in-law is pregnant.
Are you excited?
I am.
Do we know boy or girl?
I'm super excited. It's a boy.
It's a boy?
Aiden Allen.
Aiden Allen. And when is he due?
He's due at the end of August, but she is a high-risk pregnancy. So everybody keep her in your prayers. She's not on bed rest, but she does have to take it easy right now. They will take the baby either 35 or 36 weeks. If, we just pray that he stays in there and keeps growing like he's growing, and they don't have to stand her on her head so she can keep him inside bacon.
I know. I've always found the ones that want to come out early are the ones that make a difference in the world, though. They want to get here and make their difference. So how many weeks is he now?
She is 19 weeks, I think. 19 weeks pregnant.
Okay.
And
awesome.
And I'll reiterate, if you're, someone who prays and you're listening, I know that your daughter-in-law's had a journey already with some of this stuff. So keep her in your prayers, please.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's had a rough time.
Yeah. Listen, I am thankful every day for what we've been through, and we are there for you. I've been to that CMN hospital enough to know that there are a lot of miracles walking around on this planet. So we'll continue to pray for Corey and Harmony. Thanks for checking in with us today. It made our episode, to me, made it really meaningful and special that you were here to hear this. It's the same. It's not the same without you right now. So I'm glad you were here. Tracy, Lisa, everybody else for tuning in. All the comments from the offices were cool today. I love that. Vince, you didn't have anybody in there that wanted to say hey or anything? You see some masters going on at the office up there?
Yeah, they're rambunctious in there. It's very loud. So I'm going to go join in on the fun, I think.
Yeah. So wrapping us up, Kelly, you got any words of wisdom? What would you say? Like, if you could go back and tell your 20-year-old self something, like a piece of advice, knowing that now you're 29, but go back to when you were 20, what would you tell your 20-year-old self going forward that you might not have known then?
Be real. Be who you are. Don't make any excuses. And don't try to be someone that you're not to please other people. Because the people that like you and love you are the people who are going to matter the most. All these other people don't matter.
That's awesome.
And keep your reputation.
Yeah, authenticity with a capital A. Maybe all the letters are capital in that statement. Kellie, we appreciate you so much for being willing to talk to us about. You taught us some things today, some AI things, some emotional intelligence things, some communication stuff, and more than anything else, I think Tracy sums it up. You're a small town rock star, and we're proud to have you with us. Rise Up Nation, thanks for being here. Vince, thanks for taking a minute out of your Masters week to bless us with your presence. Go have a great time. I'm going to look for you on Sunday near the green.
I'll be there.
You're going to be right there with you better wear a hat because it's going to be
warm.
The
last ball drops into that hole, I'll be there.
That's exactly right. You got to take it all in. Eat as many pimento cheese sandwiches as you can. But have a great time. Thanks, Kellie. We appreciate you very, very much. If somebody wants to find you out there, how can they find you? What's the easiest way?
Give me a call. You want me to put my phone number out there?
We'll put it in the show notes. I'm not surprised that she said, "Give me a call."
Yeah, give me a call. I don't mind talking to anybody.
No, I love it. I love it. Well, thanks for being here.
Listen.
Yeah, she'll listen, and she'll record it, and she'll put it in Chat GPT, and she'll be able to tell you what kind of person you are at the end of the conversation.
I can send you a summary.
Yeah, if you want to know who you really are, you can ask Kellie, and she will tell you. Looks like Sherry Lynn McDermott was on here today. Lots of people here today. So great episode. Thank you, Kellie, for your time. Have a blessed week. And the rest of you do the same thing. We'll talk to you guys soon.
Thank you. Y'all too. Thanks for having me.